to crumble.
Yeah.
Because the Cayo has always
The wave was
been,
coming.
Cayo has always been that red stronghold from, if you may recall, they had a history with Andros, going back to Andros.
Joseph Andros.
Exactly, and it has always been called, there's a reason why it has been called the Red Hills. But it became blue, go back again to the 90s. It had blue municipality. If you recall the days of Dan Silva, it went blue. So again, and sometimes we look at these numbers and we say, you know, oh, but it's nothing new. You look at the cycle. What we are seeing right now is a play of 2009. Literally, it's a play of 2009.
Yeah, it is.
That's what we're seeing.
It's
all
a
the
repeat,
numbers,
just different color.
Right. It's just a flipping.
Yeah.
They call it flipping of the script. So there's for PUP at this point in time, PUP is still right. The wave is still, as you said, it's still building, and we're going to see that. We're expecting, at least for me, the probability of UDP any miracle that won't happen. Absolutely not. But what I am expecting is that we may have, and I go back to this, we may have a council or two where one or two may seep in. And I can see that maybe, and we're going to see if that's going to play out.
Okay.
But it's a PUP rate. It's just by how much. It's really by how much.
I believe you, and I actually think the results will come out quicker than we anticipated because...
even though we have a lot of splits?
Yeah. Even with...
When you have a lot of splits like this, how long, Caroline, do
again, we say a lot of. I'm still not seeing splits that is overshadowing the wave.
Yeah.
So you have the splits, yes, but then you normally get splits in a municipal election. Sometimes the one person they give 10-1 or 6-1, but you always have splits, and that's where the more it becomes more challenging. But I am not seeing more than normal to suggest at this point in time that we are going to have some big, splits in these. I'm not seeing that at all.
Well, I must say that me as a voter, as a citizen, I'm concerned that we keep having these super governments. And generally, I don't think it augurs well for the development of the country. It shows that we went from 2008 where we were so disgruntled with the PUP and we just gave everything to the UDP. And when you gave everything to them, they couldn't handle it. As they stayed in office another term and until they reached the third term, they just got so rooted in the system, they became so corrupt that what we had to do, come 2020, we had to vote them out. We voted them out. We didn't vote the PUP in, and know what is happening. What is your other real logical choice? You're putting all of this power in the PUP. We don't know what the next cycle and of election will bring us. So, but if it goes by that trend again, it's terrible. If something will change, will voters be mature? Will the new leadership of the PUP be different? We don't know. We have to give that time. But
will
if
the people be more involved?
Yes, and if it's, will we hold them more accountable? Will they feel that they need to be accountable? But if it's not, imagine having to go through all of that again. 3 years of PUP, and as they get complacent, they get worse. Then we have to have another election just to vote them out.
We're getting results from San Pedro again, and again the blues are like 2,100 and the reds are about 1,200. And then the other section, the other lots are the blues about 1,100 to 500s, 600s for the reds. So it's looking close to 2-1.
Yeah, exactly. And which is a marked difference from what transpired in 2018 when when Andre Perez, if you recall, lost. Lost by actually 38 votes. That was what you recall, that went all the way to the courts. And so it's not unexpected, and we keep saying this. This is just a move over from November into the municipal. The trends have not changed. If you look, I think with the last, it was 57% for the turnout. It's lower, but that is
significantly
not
so.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, again, if you go back and if you look at 2009, you're going to find again that we did have that a low in terms of election turnout post the 2008 elections. I mean, 43 for Belize, the 43.9 for Belize. You were saying Belize City was low?
Yeah.
43.9 for Belize City, 51.4 for Belmopan, 66.9 for Orange Walk, Corozal was 63.6, so, San Ignacio, Santa Elena, 22.9.
Yeah, that was extremely low.
Bencovejo, 66.4, Dangriga, 51, PG, 58, San Pedro, 61.
Yeah.
So it's the 2009,
yeah.
literally
all over again,
repeating itself.
It's
That's
true.
right.
Unfortunately, that's the trend here in our country.
Yeah. And the only difference is go back to Corozal, that went up and took the 2012.
Carolyn, what happened?
And that happened because of the by-election.
Carolyn, what happened in San Ignacio and Santa Elena? In 2009, they came in so low. They were the other ones that have not followed the curve.
It followed the curve, but it had a deeper, the depth was more. Because if you notice on this, everybody dipped in 2009.
Right, but they made certain,
farther. Again, I found that to be almost an anomaly, and it is something I've been trying to what happened?
What happened?
And even also, let me also state, and this was a conversation I had with Brian this morning, we must also sometimes revisit some of the data, because I found some data for 2009 on the Elections and Boundaries Commission that were not right. Okay. So it were not accurate, and so it may be data uploading, you know. Okay. So I can't, right? So to me, it followed the trend, but the trend was though too deep. Yeah. Because if you notice, 2009, everybody did the dip. You know, everybody did the dip.
Well, you notice what happened too when. After the massive wave of 2020, the PUP had no shortage of people willing to run on their slate. So much so that they actually had to have conventions to narrow it down. And the UDP was struggling to get people. So some people know to ride that wave. So kudos to all of those who decided to go on the UDP slate, knowing the odds they were going against. I mean, you have to give those people props. I mean, for you to step forward at the worst, you know. It doesn't make everybody step forward at the best, but when you see people put their face out there at the worst, and those are usually the people who are not enjoying the largest, but they believe in the party and they say, you know what, for the good of my party, I will put myself there. It's very unfortunate that they sacrifice themselves, but it's always very patriotic of them to say, well, you know what, at least they had to put a slate, because could you imagine not being able to get a slate, that BPP could get a slate and you can't get a slate as the opposition? That would be really bad. So the thing to learn, if you really want to go into politics and win, look at these curves. So if you want to join the UDP and run in one of the offices, wait until the other election, so that we are in 2020, the other one would have been 24, 25. You still won't win then. Wait for the other one.
Well, you might let us be mindful.
If we follow the pattern.
Not necessarily. Be mindful. Go back. UDP won in 1984. And by 1989, the People's United Party was back. The UDP
that was just at the start.
Hold on. UDP won in 1993. And by 1998, the People's United Party was back.
We're getting some. So, but come back to that, please. But we're getting some results that I want to share with you all from the Collett division.
Yes, let's see what
polling area number 19, box T to Z. The UDP is showing 88, the PUP 66, the mix 22, and the BPP 2.
Wow, even BPP getting.
Yeah, and then. So that's what we have right now.
Okay.
From Collett. But go ahead, Madam President.
With each election.
Caroline was saying something. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, what she was saying, and she has a point. I wanted to be clear that if you are planning to run, right, it's important that you watch the trend and you watch the cycle. because there's the highs and the lows. Now, what we have seen over the past, from 1998, it's, and if the Right Honorable Dean Barrow did not go for shorter terms, you more than likely would have had a 10-year, two-term. But remember, he shortened the term by
to make it look like a 3-term
and a half. So their term was 2008 to 2020, which was 12 years compared to 1998 to 2008. But the point is that what she was saying was that you have to look at the cycle, which if you look at it, you will know when to run.
When to join.
You want to ride the wave. But it does not necessarily go with a 2-term.
No.
And as what she was saying, what I was saying is that you have had instances where UP1, UDP won. 84 was one, if you recall, massive blowout, 21-7, if I recall, in 1984. And by 1989, PUP was back.
Yeah.
In 1993,
close to independence.
And again, but there was no blowout 89, if you know. Then go back to 1993, again, PUP, early election, factors came into being, the UDP won. Right. Again, it was not a blowout.
One term.
And if you look at the data for 2012, you will have seen that PUP came very close to winning. Yep. So there could have been a similar occurrence, and then of course there was the...
But in 89 it was a landslide in favor of the PUP.
No, it wasn't a landslide. It was not a landslide.
The UDP only had 3 seats. Finnegan, Contreras, and Deed Barrow.
No, that was
98.
That was 98.
Sorry,
Yes.
Yes, 98.
That's what I'm saying. 98 was the landslide.
That's when the landslide started. Was then and from then that's all we've been having.
Exactly.
That's all we've been having.
But you don't.
So if this pattern continues, that's where it'll be. No, you have to know that when you decide if you will ride that wave, that yes, while the superpower party is in power, it doesn't mean the opposition doesn't start gaining some traction. So if you know when to ride the wave and which division is for the take, then you will know where to go, because you might likely be one that gets in early before the next big wave, because eventually the super party has to lose some traction, which is kind of unfortunate that's the pattern that's developing in our country.
And we saw that same lose. When you remember 1998, by 2003, the PUP began to lose.
Yes.
They lost their supermajority.
Yes.
Again, you saw it in 2012. If you go back to the data, you're going to see where
we'll
PUP
see the pattern now.
But again, circumstances led to their loss at that point in time. If you may recall that, I think. And so it's you can watch the data, and the data can give you an indication of the possibility.
And like how I told Mark that I can see his name on the ballot soon, right?
No, not at all.
I'm telling this for his own good.
I'm thinking that you're the one that's studying this, and you probably already have...
I'm reaching retirement age. I can't deal with that. But you're not
I'm done retiring.
One of the things
Carolyn, what do you call her now? What do you call her? Facebook, what do you call her?
Oh, social media influencer.
Yeah.
She's
mastering she's campaigning.
I'm staying hip with the young people, right? That's where to go. But now, on a serious note, one of the issues I wanted to address, because I was told I could address it this evening, was so it seems now, from the little we are seeing, the wave continues, right?
Can we hold that? Sorry.
Yes, we're getting.
There's a buzz in my ear that's saying Terry is waiting for us.
Yes,
he's in the Fort George division. Terry on the MIC. So please, Terry, go ahead.
Yeah, folks, and here we are now. We're in the Fort George division, Holy Redeemer Primary School, where they were utilizing the parish hall for counting for the Fort George division. I am with Mr. Jody Williams. Jody is a marketing manager for Marie Sharp Fine Food. I just had to add that, right? Good. Fall in love with food all over again. And he was also representing his brother Patrick, who is like 20 years. How old is Patrick?
20 years old.
20 years old. And he's a newcomer for the Belize Progressive Party, the BPP party, who participated this year in the city council election. He just came out of the counting station for the Fort George division, which is HR Holy Redeemer Primary School. And what does it look like? It's just about finished, right? The tallying.
Yes, there are about 5 minutes more to go. We came out a little early. It was an early night for us, but it looks like it's gonna be blue here in this area.
Like what percentage?
The way it looks, close to 50%, I would say, based on the walk-arounds and checking on the preliminary reports.
Would you say 2 to 1 blue over red, or 1.5 to 1, or what does it look like?
Nearly 2 to 1 blue.
Wow, and that include mixes?
Include mixes.
Was there a lot of mixed boats, or just a few?
We noticed a lot of straights. But, there is a couple of mixes there in that.
Patrick managed to get a few, your brother?
Yes, we got some good votes in this area, so we thank everyone, and we know Patrick did his work, so but we're glad that everyone came out to vote.
All right, that's nice to hear. Thank you very much, Jody.
Sure, Terry, thank you too.
All right, and I just wanted to add, folks, that it's too close to call in the Albert Division. Down the stretch they come, jostling for position, and it's red and blue neck and neck from what we've been told, folks. Now I got some other things to add from the Pickstock Division, and there's a particular box, polling area, let me see, the polling area 6, 16, and 17 is Pickstock. They're being counted at the St. Luke Methodist School. And there's one particular box, I don't know what polling station, F to L. I earlier mentioned that there was 110 solid blues. Well, there's also 29 solid reds. Check that out. And about 4 votes for Patrick and your crew. All right? And a few splits. All right? Albert is too close to call. And there's a particular polling area 19, and that is polling area 19 is the Collect Division. Surnames T to Z had 88 red, 66 blue, and mixes 22, and a couple went to the Green Party. All right, BPP. So 88 red. This is as we know, Collect is a UDP stronghold. They usually win by major margins. This one is a little bit closer, as we can see, and so that's what we have to report so far, folks. We'll keep it going right here, Denver, Florida, and yours truly, Terry G on MIC. That's right, for Municipal Elections 2021, live on 5.
Thank you very much, Terry, for that report. We just received reports that Benke has officially, or unofficially, sorry, gone blue.
Wow.
After 21 years.
That's a blowout.
So
wow,
we also have a report coming in from Belmopan. So can we go to Belmopan for that report? Andre Marsden at 9 o'clock gave this report.
Good night once again. Andrew Marsden here with another update from Belmopan. Been about an hour since our last one. Since then, I've spoken to a few people coming out of the counting station now. One of them was actually the data manager for the PUP campaign, who told me that as of 11 o'clock today, 11, 12 o'clock, they were quite confident of the win based on the pledges that they got and the turnout that they were measuring. And we see that going. For the sake of our viewers, a bit of insight. The reason why the split counting takes a bit longer is because they are first reconciled and separated, and they actually count all the straight votes. That's where voters voted down the line for an entire party, mayoral candidate and councillor candidates, and that counting has been completed so far in all 4 areas of Belmopan. And just as we mentioned previously, around 3 to 1, 4 to 1, a huge lead for Sharon Palacio and her slate, especially in the areas of Belmopan East and Belmopan West. Belmopan East being the home and stronghold of Oscar Mira, and Belmopan West being Las Flores. Perhaps there is a cultural divide going on there. The boxes for Belmopan North and Belmopan Central are at lower margins, but they are still in the lead in those cases. And so now the counting has moved on to the split ballots. They will take a bit longer. They simply take longer to process because you're not looking at an entire row of votes. So we're still waiting for information to come out from those, and they will be updated progressively as we get unofficial numbers. Of course, we still have to say unofficial numbers, but so far it's looking good for the PUP slate.
Here you have it. Andre, thank you so much for that report. Again, no new or no surprises there.
Absolutely not.
We're getting...
Well, yes, in a way, because it's a blowout. I mean, you know...
We're getting some reports from PG that 60% of the ballots, or they're about 60% through the process. We're getting feedback that ACC, the counting is neck and neck. And in San Pedro, in San Pedro, we're hearing that the mayor is going to be a PUP.
Exactly.
But that the possibility of a split council, is live. So I think we have Marion on the line. Do we have Marion on the line? Let's go to Marion.
Yes, I am. Good night again, everybody. Yes, I am here.
There we go.
Where the counting is happening here at the San Pedro High School in San Pedro town, and we do have some figures here that's showing that the People's United Party slate is leading, and is leading comfortably. There is just one box that that the UDP slate has a very small lead in, and that's the J box. I believe that one comes from the Roman Catholic school. To go ahead and share the figures. Again, these are not final. We still have to hear from the returning officer, Mr. Martin Alegria, later on to get those official numbers. But what we have here is the People's United Party mayoral candidate, Mr. Wally Nunes, in the box from the polling station at the San Pedro, at the Roman Catholic School, 2,243 votes. And then in the other, at the other polling station, 1,148 votes for the PUP mayoral candidate. And then we have Danelli Aranda, garnered 2,176 at one polling station and 1,130 at the other polling stations. San Pedro has two polling stations, or had two polling stations today. The counting is happening here behind me at the San Pedro High School. We move on to Jonia Duarte, again for PUP, 2,125 at one polling station and 1,106 at the other. Then we move on to Jose Castellanos. He garnered 2,145 at one polling station and 1,103 at the other. And then we have Ernesto Bardales. And Mr. Bardales garnered 2,117 votes at one polling station and 1,096 at the other. Then we have Adali Ayuso, and that councillor candidate garnered 2,134 votes and 1,107 at the other polling station. And lastly, for the PUP, we have Marina K. Marina K got 2,176 at one polling station and 1,126 at the other. So that's for the PUP slate. We move now to the UDP slate, the mayoral candidate Ruben Gonzalez. And Mr. Gonzalez gained 1,196 votes at one polling station and 550 at the other. His councillor candidate, Jazeli Asweta, who ran under the UDP flag or ballot, Mr. Jazeli, I believe, she gained 1,311 and 606 at the other polling station. Then we have Lorraine Cobb. Ms. Cobb garnered 1,259 votes plus 575 votes. And then we have Richard Cordova, councillor candidate Richard Cordova. He got 1,266 votes and 574 votes at the other polling station. And we move now to Ken Bob Gabriel, Kent, I believe. This is a misspelling. He's Kent Bob Gabriel. And Mr. Gabriel gained 1,356 votes plus 620. And councillor candidate for the UDP, Raul Gonzalez, garnered 1,276 votes plus 583. And lastly, on the UDP ticket for today, we had Marceli McCurkle, and notably this was the youngest councillor candidate for both political parties. She was the youngest at age 25, and Ms. McCurkle garnered 1,295 votes plus 596 votes. So those figures should give you an idea what the figures look like, or what the stance is right now. We are seeing that the PUP has a comfortable lead over the UDP slate. Again, we'll wait for the officer, Mr. Alegria, to come later on and to confirm these figures. Those figures are the final results on to you guys. That's what we have for now.
I only have one question, if she can hear me, is the mood there already. Has it appeared to you that the United Democratic Party candidates have conceded, or not yet?
I think we have some problems with the connection. We may have lost her.
Yeah.
But
oh no. Did you hear my question?
No, I think we're having a bad connection there with her. Right. But anyhow, again, a young female, 25-year-old, is good news. I mean, we're seeing more women in politics and getting involved.
I think also in Orange Walk, I think there was actually a 21-year-old.
There you go. Okay.
Yes, woman as well. And I just love it.
Marian, can you hear us?
A lot of women on this list. I mean, more than.
Oh, we lost Marian. Okay, all right, good.
So do we have time to go back to what I wanted to say?
Yes, we do.
No, one of my concerns was that I wanted to address on this.
Oh, can I just say Pickstock is just reporting too that it's looking 3-1 or 4-1 for the PUP.
Wow.
Wow. Absolutely.
Yes, so
no surprises there.
As we see the blue wave, and potentially Mayor Wagner will be returned to office, there's a looming issue that people want answered. Because earlier we were saying, okay, do you think that if people think he will then be challenged in court and successfully challenged, that is it worthwhile to vote for him, knowing that there's a possibility? And I don't know how to answer it, if it would affect people or not. So I had to go do my little research to and see the basis of the case that they are making.
So you'll give us your legal opinion now?
Yes, I can give my legal opinion now, because when I leave the set, it's because I'm going home to rest. Okay. I have to work tomorrow. It's not a holiday, you know. Anyway, but the thing is, I actually went to look for the updated legislation. Right. In 2011, there were amendments, and that's the newest Belize City Council Act. And there is strict provisions, very strict provisions as to what makes you qualify or disqualify. Previous to 2011, okay, little phone next to up every now and then. To 2011, You just had to be a person who is resident in Belize. That's what the law said, right?
In Belize, the country.
In Belize, the country. It says Section 7 of the Chapter 85, which is the Belize City Council Act, says, gives you all the criteria what would make you disqualify. The side note says, disqualification of certain persons from being members. And then it gives you A, B, C, D, E, F, and I just need to go G, H, I. And I is, it says, no person shall be eligible for election as a member of the council or having been elected shall sit or vote on the council who, and the I says, has not ordinarily resided in Belize City for at least 1 year immediately preceding the date of the election. But then it goes and it says, or is not domiciled in Belize or ordinarily resident therein at the date of the election. Had this stopped only at where it says immediately preceding the date of the election, it would mean that if Mayor Wagner did not live in Belize City and does not have his address as Belize City, he cannot qualify. And yes, the court will allow the election process to go through simply because he has not committed the offense, and I don't mean offense in a criminal sense or the violation of the law, until he actually goes through the process. Because up to today, he could have said, withdraw my name from the ballot, and he would not have been part of the process. But having gone through the process, if he wins, there's a challenge, the court and the judge has to hear it. But this did not stop at that full stop where it said it could have stopped. It says or. So what do you read in law? That one little word, or, is super powerful. Had it said and, my legal opinion is that he totally would have disqualified, because it means that he had to have lived in Belize City, and he had to be domiciled in Belize, the country, and ordinarily resident here in Belize. But what they did in that section was so strange. When they amended it, they gave you 3 options to qualify when it comes to residency. It's either that you show that you're living in Belize City, and if you're living in Belize City 1 year before, it must mean that you're a resident and domiciled in the country. Or if you're not living in the city, you have to show that you are at least domiciled in Belize, the country. And if you're not domiciled in Belize, the country, you have to show that you are ordinarily resident here. This amendment is so contradictory. I believe that the drafters wanted to say that you had to live in Belize City, you had to show that you have been domiciled in Belize, the country, and ordinarily resident here as a form of residency. In law, being domiciled somewhere and being residing somewhere has 2 different connotations. Because I can say my place of domicile is Belize, but I'm working in the Caribbean and I come now and then. But I say I'm domiciled in Belize because the laws of Belize applies to me for specific.
So what's going to be the end net effect in your view?
In my view, the end net effect would be that the case brought against him will not succeed.
Okay.
I think when I read this one, I look at the whole spirit of the amendment, I really believe that what they wanted to put there was and the drafter made a simple mistake between or and. Because as it is, it's contradictory within itself. Now the judge will be called upon to do a legal interpretation, and I'm sure that very competent attorneys will be going up against, I won't say much on the other side, but very competent attorneys will be going up, and I'm telling you, legal interpretation is very important. And you'll be amazed the amount of literature and case law that you will find that deals as to how you interpret in a piece of legislation like that, and how you interpret and. And because I said it's contradictory, it's asking for 3 possible qualifications. Why it doesn't make sense is because if you're resident in Belize, it follows that you would be domiciled and ordinarily residing in Belize. I think they've meant 3 different qualifications, but had they succeeded in the 3 different qualifications, then he would not.
But your view is it's not going to go anywhere.
I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
You heard it here on 5. All right,
that's my legal opinion. Okay. But I have one more thing to say.
I need to,
You see how that section is contradictory in itself?
Right.
The rules of interpretation says the latter in time applies. So if the judge had to say, okay, this is contradictory and ambiguous. So what they say, you have to be resident in Belize, you have to be domiciled, and you have to be ordinarily resident. The last provision that made was ordinarily resident in Belize.
But
So that
Belize
would
meaning the
apply.
country.
The country.
Yeah, there you go.
So that is my legal professional opinion. I'm giving it to you all for
Okay.
free at this moment.
The country
right?
thanks you.
Exactly. Yeah, Channel 5
Wait,
thanks you.
Channel 5 thanks you. You heard it here first. Breaking
But-
news. we need to go.
We come back on that. Let's
we
see.
come back. We need to go to a video for. I think Isani is at ACC polling station number 11. Yeah.
Oh,
so in
the
Belize
neck,
City.
the neck one.
Yeah. So let's go over to
We're here at
Isani.
polling station number 11 in the Albert division. We're here at ACC, where ballots are being counted for both the United Democratic Party candidates as well as the People's United Party candidates. And what we've been made to understand thus far is that it's a neck-and-neck count. The returning officer, Anna Bennett, just left from here, where she stopped over for a few minutes to check on certain queries that were being raised during this particular counting process. We're getting information as a slow trickle coming in from what is taking place here, and as we've mentioned, it's very close to call at this particular point. The information as it regards to the final count will be relayed over to the HQ at the IT vet, where Anna Bennett will be making the official announcement, whatever the results are from here at ACC. It's one of several counting stations at the moment where the process is ongoing. So we will be getting back to you guys shortly. We're inside the 8 to 5 curfew, so everything around us is fairly quiet at the moment, and I guess people are just waiting for the results of the elections to come forth.
Thank you so much, Isani, for that bit. That's a neck-and-neck race we've been hearing, you know, and they say when the race is neck-and-neck, it's one of the biggest teeth that wins, right?
So. And the reality is with races like that, they really are just going to sort of indicate who get more votes than another.
Yeah.
Albert division, by the very nature of the number of votes it holds in terms of the overall Belize City, will not play a role.
Okay.
The divisions that are going to play a role in Belize City, Lake Independence and Port Loyola, those two have the highest in terms of number. Because remember, Belize City is aggregate of 10.
Right.
And so when you have the divisions that the UDP carried over, Albert, Queen Square, Mesopotamia, and Collet. Of those, Collet is the biggest, but the other three are small divisions. PUP had the larger divisions in terms of the general.
Breaking
so
news.
when you start pulling that together, the Albert one, like I said, is simply it's a matter of just who will come out, who will top the polls, kind of thing.
Okay, we have a concession speech from Orange Walk. Do we have a clip on that? What we're getting is that
I would start seeing these concessions.
that the UDP has conceded in Orange Walk. So, all right.
Yep.
We need to give you an update
the results on the polls, right? That poll is an interesting poll. That
okay, we have the concession speech from Orange Walk online right now. So let's go to Orange Walk.
In Orange Walk for the United Democratic Party, it reflects very poorly on what the party represents at the moment, and the people are showing they are still not contented with the UDP party. So we lost about 2.5 to 1 in East, and in Central we lost about 5 to 1, and those numbers speak for themselves. The people decided that they wanted to give the current administration another chance under a PUP central government to see what they will do, you know, and a mature mind will understand that someone has to lose and someone has to win. And for my first time coming up, I feel excited about it, and I don't have no hard feelings towards any of the candidates, any are losing or winning. I already processed that someone has to lose and someone has to win, and at the end of the day, this is just the start. what I want to do in Orange Walk.
Some people might tell Landyman this was expected, I guess, because of the blow that happened back in November, because of the history of the PUP holding on to the town council here under successive red central government. I mean, how do you process this loss, really?
It's like I say, right? I'm a young person, and I took this up to encourage young persons to get into politics, because at the end of the day, we need a younger person, because the elder generation who is in politics, at some point they will step down. So when you get into this young, you cannot get discouraged when you suffer a loss. You need to regroup, discuss, and move forward with a proper plan to see how you can gain back that trust of the people.
So can we expect to see you offer yourself again for office here in Orange Walk Town?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, you will. You will. I will. From now, I will start to work. And I won't wait like other politicians who wait until the last year to try to do something. So I will start to work with the people from now. The people deserve persons who are interested in their well-being and nothing else, and that is what I have to show them, so that we get back that support and that trust from the community. Because at the moment, the numbers don't lie, and the numbers are saying that they are not happy with the United Democratic Party here in Orange Walk, and it is something that I will try my best to change.
Lando, thank you so much, and we wish you all the best on your future in politics and belief.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you,
for
ma'am.
office here in Orange Walk Town.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You will. You will. I will. I will. From now, I will start to work, and I won't wait like other politicians who wait until the last year to try to do something. So I will start to work with the people from now. The people deserve persons who are interested in their well-being and nothing else, and that is what I have to show them, so that we get back that support and that trust from the community. Because at the moment, the numbers don't lie, and the numbers are saying that they are not happy with the United Democratic Party here in Orange Walk, and it is something that I will try my best to change.
Lando, thank you so much, and we wish you all the best on your future in politics and belief.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Lando. Yeah, bro. Well,
from a very humbled Orlando Castillo, who urged for young people to get involved in politics, get involved early, not until just the year before election, and he was very honest. I think he called it for the party.
He's a newcomer. Yeah. I like his message that young people need to get involved. I like his whole approach. I mean, he summed it up when he said, the people are not yet willing to give the UDP another chance. They're not satisfied. The numbers are telling you that. And I hope that the party gets that message so that they revive and revamp as soon as possible. And the reason I have an interest in seeing our opposition revive and revamp and become a force to reckon with is because for us to have a really constitutionally democratic country, you have to have a vibrant opposition. I remember when I joined the forces of the UDP was because I felt the landslide was just too much. You can't have a superpower government. You have to have a vibrant opposition.
Sorry to cut
You're not sorry one bit. You won't cut me.
I'm saying we have the final numbers for San Pedro.
Final?
Yeah.
Solid
and it's looking blue.
Oh my God, yes. They even put us a picture of it.
Yeah, so
it is horrendously obscene.
But we have been saying this, that it's just a matter of getting numbers now.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
Clearly, the November 2011 has
I wish I would see the names to see who are the people.
As it did in 2008, carried over to 2009,
Yeah. And what is interesting as well is that in our poll, in our online poll, they said, do you see today's election as a measure of satisfaction with the current government? 41% of the people said yes. And 28% of the people
so that's
said
what they're
no.
telling you. We can't forgive the UDP yet. And remember, people took long to forgive the PUP, I remember when Honorable Francis Fonseca took over the leadership of the PUP, I saw a turnaround in people's attitude when he made a simple step he made, but a critical one. He actually gave an address And an interview, he repeated it where he said, I apologize to the people of this country for whatever shortcomings the PUP had. Well, that's my paraphrasing. And I saw a marked difference then, and you need to understand that sometimes those simple things make a difference. Right now, the people are still sending a message to the outgoing government. In the results I'm seeing here from San Pedro, in San Pedro, the highest, I don't see the names, I just have the figures. The highest person who got the highest vote is 3,067. And imagine, let's see, their lowest is 2,720. The highest for the UDP did not even reach their lowest one. The highest for the UDP is 2,031 votes, and the lowest is 1,578 votes. Imagine, it's like 2 to 1 in a way, you know.
The big gaps, and again, you know, it's what's expected.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
You're smiling a lot, Caroline.
Yes, I know, because what you're seeing,
Caroline,
what you're seeing is what is expected.
No, and I tell you, I'm always impressed by your reading of the numbers.
Yeah, she has this figure
you analyze it. You have this thing down to a.
She that numbers witch.
Yeah.
You know?
No,
I wouldn't call myself a numbers witch.
She's very talented, and she has this skill.
And she seems to keep track of every little number.
Yes.
So much so that she could have told us that the election and boundary
we all don't like numbers,
wrong.
but numbers are very important because they tell a story if you know
how to.
It tells
a story, exactly.
And what did the guy say? What did the guy Castillo say just now? He said the numbers don't lie.
No, they don't. They don't.
He said that.
That's right.
They don't.
But we want people to know that when we get these results or people are conceding, it's, yes, the official report is not out yet, but if you know what goes on in a counting station, they reconcile each ballot. From the minute they reconcile, you have an idea who's winning, unless it's very close. So they literally take each ballot, and if it's all blue, they put it on one pile. If it's all red, they put it on another pile. And if it's independent, they put it on another pile. Based on that alone, you can always tell more or less who's winning, and that's why we know. That's why the by-election was so early. Yes, the official word hasn't been out yet, but the margin is so big that even if there's some error, it's not enough to flip it, you know?
To flip it.
And the fact that Mr. Castillo conceded means that he has seen the figures, and he's a figures guy. I'm told that he was a banker, or is a banker, and clearly he knows the numbers are not lying. But I like what he said, it's not the last of him, and clearly it took a lot. I think it takes a lot for anybody right now to put their face out there for the United Democratic Party. So it's hopeful. It's hopeful for me because I want to see that new faces are coming, younger people are coming, and like he's saying, I like his whole thought process, what he's expressing. He's saying, I am here for the long haul. I'm going to be working my way up the system. I'm a force to reckon with. Look out for me. And I really hope that he has a very good stamina and works through the process, and that we will see him in other elections. That would be fantastic, you know, to see a new face. We don't tell all the old faces, I mean.
We have unofficial results saying that in Belize City, Kaya Catus and Alan Pollard are the two PUP councillor candidates with the most votes.
Wow. Wow.
And that is, again, if you go back to
That's interesting.
If you go back to the People's United Party convention, that they had to select their candidates, that is exactly what happened.
Happened there.
At the convention itself, indeed.
Okay.
Yes. Alan and
these are new faces.
Two very popular people.
And they're popular because they are people who are involved in other things. Kaya, as we all know, is a sports, a cyclist, has been engaged in cycling for quite a while, so she's very well known. She's also a young person. Alan as well.
But he has
and Alan did very well.
Alan ran and be mindful that he also ran in Queen Square as well, and he did very well. And if you put Alan on an interview, he handles himself very well. Both of them, you know. So it's not unexpected that both of them would have done well in this.
Well, I was surprised to see Kaya get involved in politics, honestly. Because I know she's very vocal, she's very active, she's very disciplined in her field. But to see her in politics, I mean, it's a very good welcome step for her. I mean, I bias because she's a female coming into the arena, but she's young and she has she has good credits next to her name, so I really like seeing that. But I was surprised that she got into politics. Well, Alan, no, clearly Alan has made up his mind, this is his path, and he's going to work through the process to the bitter end. Even when he conceded in the general election, he was so humble in his concession speech, but it was clear that he was going to stay in the fold, and see, he went back into municipal elections. I think he really likes it. You know, some people just have the thrill for it and enjoy it, and that's his calling. So that's good to know those results. I want to see, though, if there's going to be any split. I don't know, have we ever had a split in Belize City? Caroline, you're the figures lady.
As far as I can recall, it happened in the 70s.
Oh my gosh, way back then.
Okay, we need to break because we have the official numbers coming in from Freetown. I think we have Isani with a report from Freetown. So let's go over to Isani.
Okay.
And these should be the official numbers from Freetown.
We've just received the final numbers for the Freetown constituency, where I can report to you that the highest number of votes, or the most number of votes in that constituency went to Kayakatus, who received 95 votes out of the 1,402 votes that were cast today. Second behind her on the People's United Party slate, in terms of the numbers of votes received for Freetown, was Councillor Alan Pollard. He received 90. And so for the United Democratic Party, its mayoral candidate Urson Pickard received 47 of the 1,402 votes, followed closely by councillor candidates Alicia Craig and Dr. Alain Gonzalez, who both received 46 votes each. Again, the total number of votes that were cast today in Freetown was 1,402. The number of rejected ballots were 2, and of course the total rejected based on the total counted was 138. So those are the figures coming out of Freetown from the YWCA, polling station 3B, boxes A through Z. That's what we have from Freetown.
So we remind our listeners that these are the official results from boxes A to Z.
Those are official, yes.
Yeah, in the Freetown. So we have Terry G now with a live report. So where is Terry G? Can we go over to Terry now?
Terry G and the MIC.
Where's that Port Loyola area? That's where Terry G.
And the scrutineers have all concluded their job here in the Port Loyola division. Folks, we are at the customs building here in Belize City. This is where the counting took place for the Port Loyola division. As I just mentioned, it's all but over. So whoever, it depends on who you speak with. You hear it's a comfortable 3-1 margin. Some say it's 2-1 margin. But the bottom line is it's a comfortable victory for the People's United Party led by Bernard Wagner, the incumbent. So that is what we have to report here, folks, in the Port Loyola division. And it seems that if it continues to be a blue wave from what we've been talking about, with the possible exception of Collett division from what I have mentioned so far. Of course, there is still Messop and Queen Square, some other UDP strongholds, which are yet to be concluded, and I'm sure in just a few we'll be able to share those statistics with you. As I had mentioned earlier in the Pickstock division, it was a clear blue in the particular box that we were reporting on with surnames F to L, with 110 solid blues, 29 reds, and then the rest a few for the BPP, the Green Party. So, like I just said, it seems as if it's going to be the PUPs, the incumbent, back in power once again. But until the official tally from all the divisions, and of course that will be done by the returning officer, Miss Anna Bennett. Until that is done, then of course we will have to wait for those particular results. So, on behalf of Denver Fairweather Senior, this is Terry G on the MIC. Municipal Elections 2021, live on 5.
Well, thank you very much, Terry G, for that report. Again, we see the wave continuing.
That's right.
Caroline, and so
it's a wave indeed.
It's not unexpected, as we continue to say. I think what's going to happen now is that as the numbers come in, we're going to start identifying what those gaps were. Yeah. And certainly the gap seems to be very large so far. There are no close no close gap. And I think what's going to happen now is starting to identify where people rank, you know, because as I think Audrey was mentioning earlier, for those persons who are first time, you know, first time running, they may be looking at where they place and to see, you know, if you're running in Belize City, for example, you may be looking at what area I place high, and perhaps that would be the next area that I may challenge if an opening comes up. And it's almost the same thing in the other municipalities because it's a cycle. And this is 2021, as we have said. The next election is 2024 and 2025. And if you're into politics, and as the young man said from Orange Walk, it's not just about this election. I think one of the things I always love about American politics is that when you go to a convention, they already have up a sign of who is going to be coming out in the 5 years from now. So if you went to the convention, Barack came out, was 2008. Somebody already had a sign up in 2004 that said Barack 2008. Yep. You know, it's that kind of thing. It's you have to be there.
All right, let's read out this concession message from Jacqueline Burns, who says, congratulations to the PUP team on their victory over Belmopan. To my teammates, gratitude for trusting me to lead you all. You guys are the best. I was privileged to have you all walk with me, walk on this journey, To all who came out to participate, thank you. And to all who believed in Team Jackie for Mayor, we love you. We do not go silently into the night. We're still here. We love you, Belmopan. Blessings. So that was from Jacqueline Burns conceding to the PUP in Belmopan.
Well, it is the second concession of the UDP mayoral candidate, so I'm waiting to see when Patrick Farber will step forward as the leader of the party and give his take. I mean, it's not what he would have wanted, but I don't know, from my end.
One would have expected him to have said something already, huh?
Our people love these super parties and these super in power government. So he had to have accepted it and expected it. And he has to remember, he benefited big time of 12 years in power. What did he do to prepare for these rainy days? I know he took over the mantle, and he must have known it was no easy challenge, because when Dean Barrow took over from Manuel Esquivel, he also took over a practically crumbled party, and I could say that because that was the short time he was there, and let me tell you, crumbled like you can't imagine. All those who created the corruption and all the problems, suddenly they didn't care. They weren't coming back to rebuild the party. They only came back after the party rebuilt and ran again, and some of the same old crooks came back and created the problem. So Patrick needs to guard himself and say, if he's seriously about checking first, keep track of that dagger that's coming, he has to be seriously prepared to restructure and reform. And that may mean that actively campaigning and reaching out to new faces, like the young man from Orange Walk.
They have to start the rebuilding process.
Yes, it takes a long time.
And
you see how long it took for the PUP to rebuild. You see what all the phases it went through. At one point, remember, Francis was the leader, then it was Johnny, then there was the possibility of Marcus Pat, then it came back, and finally it settled on John Busenio. Many people didn't think he would take it to the end, but he got in on a wave too. Who else would have done it? And no matter who you would have put there for the PUP to run, they would have won, because people were just tired. So, and after years being in the party,
I mean,
trust me, if anybody would have.
In all fairness, it's hard. You have to give kudos where kudos are due.
Well,
I mean,
the only kudos he gets from me is that he has been in the state. He's one of the old ones, been there from the beginning to the end. But apart from that, whether you want to accept it or not, Mark, if Caroline was the head of the party, the party would have won.
No. I mean,
there was no other option. Trust me, people would not have voted the UDP back in a fourth term. It doesn't matter. Patrick could have been the best possible leader. You could not, because it's too much what they have done. That is the truth. It's too much. So for them to expect to have any major victory right now would be so naive, would be so silly, would be so, the word you want to describe it, because it's not possible. Sadly, the trend we have is bad.
I think it's fair to say that they killed themselves.
The PUP killed themselves too.
No. I mean, well, I mean, obviously, but
after
I mean,
2005 to
point.
now.
No, your point was that for the most part, we see people in government losing the elections, and hopefully that lessons have been learned and will continue on this road to reform. No.
Yes.
You know, Madam President, I was saying today that I'm so happy to have seen that a bill was paused, no, and sent back. Something that I never saw in the 8.5 years. So I was mentioning it today as something very positive, because even when there were, in my time, flagrant errors in the law, where you knew that, you know, whether it be the devil's printers or whatever, there was an error, it was almost like
in my time, only one time it happened.
To have things changed. So I congratulate the new Senate for putting a pause and doing things differently. So kudos.
Yeah, but not for long, because in my time it happened one time, and it was when Barry Boyne said, you know, in all fairness, in all honesty, I can't support this bill, and he voted against it, and it went back. When it came back for revoting, he could not, in all conscience, vote against what he had said. He did not show up that day, and they put someone in his replacement, and it passed.
Well,
but that was a good era for me, that it signaled a little bit of independence, and then we came back to this era where it's rubber stamp all the way. So to hear that there's a little change, let us hope that the person is not castigated. Because when I spoke to him then one-on-one, I said, what happened? And he said, no, Audrey, I couldn't go back and vote when I know I didn't support it. I said, okay, no problem. He said, let them put who they want. He said, but they would not have put me there to go and support something I did not. From the start, I said I didn't support it on principle. Yeah. So, and he was just doing what I think at the time. He believed that he had the right to have a position, and he didn't. So I really wish to see us evolve to the point where, yes, there are genuine debates, and if something can be tweaked, let them tweak it.
Democracy is still so imperfect, but we have to continue growing on it.
And oh my God, imperfect. Yes, imperfect. I think it's always
still the best system we have. Huh?
Exactly, it's always, and there's always room for improvement. And I think putting the bill on hold,
but the people who could try and improve it don't want to.
Well, the people who should try and improve it, and who should push that it be improved, are who? We the people, right?
We the people.
Because we only get out of the democracy what we put into it. So, so don't blame the politicians. Blame us.
No, we go
blame
hand in
we
hand.
the people. But I want to say that in Punta Gorda, this is a little different. Anyhow. Not different, but it's not what we were expecting. They say 4 boxes counted in Punta Gorda. There's a wide margin in favor of the PUP.
Interesting.
I know, when we really look forward to this mix. You know?
Right. We thought it was going to be...
for me, I kept saying that what we have seen, and we have seen it from 2006. And not any major, let me be clear, it was not any major split. If you look at all the elections, 2006, as I said, 2009, 2012, 2015, 2018, what you saw was someone or two seeping. Even though there were landslide, wave, 1 or 2 seeped in, you know, and we were looking at 2021 and say, you know, which municipality one person might manage to sleep in. But
it's scary to think if they would take every municipality. It's scary, honestly. Scary. I know for the fanatics it will not be scary, because when you're fanatic one side, you're fanatic. But for those of us who are not fanatics, it's scary because you don't want...
But on what premise would you want people to vote for the UDP?
It's not, you see, this is, you're sounding just like the people who don't know better.
No,
municipal election is different than central government.
I understand you totally, but I'm saying what is the premise under which you would tell somebody right now, voter, whosoever?
No, I will not tell people how to vote. I will tell you this. It's on the premise that people need to look at it and say, you know what? I agree, the PUP had to come in and the UDP had to be voted out. But I cannot at the same time hand absolute power to the PUP. The same way I should not have done it. I should not have done it with the UDP. If we haven't learned our lesson, that's what we did. We handed it totally to the UDP, municipal and central, and we paid the price. We cannot keep repeating the same thing.
You're not listening to me. I'm saying how do you tell the individual voter that has a decision to make?
I'm telling you right now, but you're not making me finish.
How you want to say split your votes?
No.
How you want to tell the individual voter, you know what, you can't vote only for PUPs, you have to vote in some UDPs.
I will tell the
what do you
voter,
tell them?
I will tell the voter you need to become a little bit more independent-minded. You need to also look at the big picture. So fine, your party went in power. You know that that's good news for you. You like that. But does that mean you hurry up, go and give them even more power? No. You can split, or you can say, you know what? Let me, for a change, put my own form of check and balance, because the truth is the system does not have. You do not want to send the wrong message to any party, because we've learned what happened since 2008.
So this was you would have told the people to split your votes. That's
I would say, yes, split your votes.
That's your answer.
And look at some candidates that are genuinely good candidates. You're not saying, oh, just because I want to vote for UDP, and I don't want PUP, have everything under that. No. You look at the candidates. Like, I went through the list, and I said, this one okay, that one okay, from both parties. Why? Because it's simply to say, we want you to be sure that we're not pleased with you. We're not prepared to give you no lots of power, but it is not so much you. We're just telling the other party, hey, we want you to know that we're keeping an eye out. But the majority of the voters are not mature enough like that. Trust me, today a lot of UDPs will go out to vote. A lot of PUPs went out, and quite a few independents went out to vote. But the truth is, the PUP own people, some of their own people, are so upset. When you talk to some of them, they say, no, we shouldn't have gone through this. My thing to some of them who think like that is like, you all caused it throughout the time when people are trying to hold your own party accountable, you refuse to hold them accountable. So you're as guilty of the process.
Let's continue this. Terry is at EP York now with a live report. I'm not done with you yet.
I'm not done with you yet either. I should soon go, but I'm not done with you yet.
Just as we were about to climb into a truck and head on over out to another location, we got a call that some statistics just is available from Caribbean shores. The counting is taking place at EP York, and polling area number 3 shows the like of this. The incumbent, Mayor Wagner, 97 votes. We have Castellanos, 95. Kaya Katus 107, Micah Gooden with 97, Miss Stefan Hamilton 96, Mr. Kwan with 95, Novello 94, Natasha Pipersberg 99, Alan Pollard 106, Diane Rekenia 96, and Albert Vaughn with 92. All right, a big truck where, oh Lord, he wanted to mention that he is here, folks, leaving. We're still at the customs building, and that's a big truck making his grand exit, not entrance, okay? For the United Democratic Party, their mayoral candidate, Urson Pickard, got 60 votes, Kira Bowman, 62, Andrew Bradley, 57, Alicia Craig, 64, Dr. Aline Gonzalez, 65, Leon Gill, 61, Alan Kelly, 54, Kenny Morgan, 55, Anazette Oliveira, 57, Megan Tasher, 60, and Shane Williams, 60. For the BPP, their mayoral candidate, Richard Lizard Macaulay, 2 votes, Gary Matos, 8, and the newcomer, Patrick Williams, with 20. Ernesto Torres actually got 12 votes too. This is his division, by the way. This is the area that he resides in, okay? So that's the box P3, S to Z surnames. So that's what we have from Caribbean shores. From what we're seeing, folks, all around. This one seems to be a wrap, but of course, we do not want to preempt the returning officer, Miss Anna Bennett. But if you're a Laker fan, and a fanatic of the People's United Party, the late Chick Hearns would say, this one's in the refrigerator. The door is closed, the lights are out, the butter's getting hard, the eggs are cooling, and the jello's jiggling. On behalf of course, Mr. Denver Fairweather, this is Terry G on the MIC for Municipal Elections 2021, live on 5.
Thank you, Terry. I think Terry gets hungry.
I know. After he said that, I feel like that recipe can come up into this. And I said, okay, that cake you make, and the jelly, the jingling jelly in the middle.
Oh, gosh. Anyhow,
Terry.
Miss Audrey,
yes.
So you're expecting, and I'm trying to understand you, you're expecting the electorate to be at a position where they say, you know what, let me finish. This government has gotten too much power already.
Yes.
They came in with a big wave.
Yeah.
And now let's put a little check on things.
Yeah.
Let me go and split my votes.
Yeah.
That's what you wanted. You wanted people to do.
You translated like that, but I think I was more expecting, I would hope that sometime in the near future, our electorate would be far more enlightened about the process and realize it's within their power where your government fails to put the check and balances, because we have a winner and takes it all system. That they will say, okay, if they fail to put the check and balances, let me be the one that puts some form of check and balances. Simply that.
But what led you to believe that our electorate?
And the thing is, you have to understand, Mark, it goes both ways. They didn't do it during the time when the UDP had superpower, and we're back at the same trend. They're not going to do it now again. Where does it go back to? That 1-1 vote adds up. And when it adds up, it is us, the people, who as a mass have the ultimate say. I said earlier when we were looking at Colette, why would Colette split? I really thought that Colette would have gone like clear cut, only red, simply because that's where the party leader is. But what do you think are some of the factors that play? Many factors I'm sure that I may not be aware of. Maybe Patrick didn't walk the area and went off, but I don't know. But one of the factors I know usually happens in our psyche is that, oh, so that party, the win, best I go with that one because I'll waste my vote if I put it here. Not knowing it's not a waste of vote. It's your way of keeping things in a check and balance system. It's simply that. That is my view, how I see it. I do have a problem as a voter.
You want a party with a history, with 12 years of history are doing nonsense, right?
But no, you're being unfair.
No, it's not being unfair.
The PUP had 10 years of history.
Come out with 12 years of history. I'm talking today. 12 years of history going to go be the check and balance, please.
They're not. It's not they who will be the check and balance. It is the fact that they did not get all the powers to check and balance, because the UDP would do nothing.
For us to be able to plan ahead, we need to know what we have. First and foremost, we'll be looking at the land situation in Belmopan. We're looking at employment. We're particularly looking at the youth. There's an incubation center that we'll be looking at. A lot of young people who want to have their own business. The idea is we're going to help them from beginning to end. And I have my other councillor candidates here with me. I'm sure that they can add a little bit as well.
Ma'am, so are we speaking about the full slate for the People's United Party?
Yes,
okay.
Full slate.
So what does that mean for you having your full slate behind you going into office?
Unity, Upafu.
Okay.
Strength. We need the full slate.
It's been 15 years since we had a PUP council in office. What did it take for you to get to this point where we now have a PUP council in office, and also historically the first
Well, that's a wonderful question, but I give thanks to Honorable Oscar Mira and the wonderful machinery that he put in place. I give him thanks because he got me involved. I was his deputy campaign manager. I was his zone leader for Central, and that gave us a wonderful lead. And to make a long story short, it was an awesome machinery put together by Oscar Mira. So for us to be where we're at today, it was as you can remember, the time was very short, but we quickly put ourselves together, and here we are today. As I said, it's a wonderful movement, and we look forward to moving forward.
Speak to us about the message that you believe Belmopan residents have sent today at the polls.
Change. It has been 15 years, as you rightly said. I feel honored. I feel very proud because I was in the last PUP City Council. I was a councillor under the wonderful leadership of Honorable Anthony Chanona. There are a lot of things that were put in place. For example, having city commissioners, people were very much involved, and all that came to a halt because, as you can safely see, the people of Belmopan, we've all been excluded, and we look forward to make, as I said, a movement whereby as a people we'll be moving forward. People enjoy hearing that we'll bring back the whole idea about the city commissioners. I think that's very important to be transparent. We'll be able to account for everything that we're going to do at City Hall. And also, under the leadership of Honorable Anthony Chanona, there was a 25 years plan that somehow lost its way. And there's where, as a council, we'll be able to look back. The audit will be the first thing, and then we put together the plan we have in place and the plan believes, and we look forward to doing wonderful thing at City Hall and making it all inclusive.
You take up a financially crippled city council. What does your first 100 years, first 100 days in office look like?
Yeah, we're quite aware about that. And while we were campaigning with our Prime Minister, he said he's going to nurse us. And I think that is something we really need.
Ms. Amira, can you speak to your involvement in the whole process of getting your slate, Ms. Sharon's slate to this point?
As the mayor said, you know, it's a movement, and I feel very proud of the group that we put together, of the slate that we put together. It took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of planning, but we had a machinery in place, the one we had on the 11th of November last year, and you know what? Everybody put their hearts and soul into it, and we made sure that we took out our voters today, and the results is shown today. You know, it is going to be, I think, for us, hard work. It's going to be a lot of dedication, but I know that we can work as a team. The city council and the area representative and a PUP central government who is going to assist us in what we need to do to make sure that we succeed at City Hall.
So what does it mean to have a PUP municipal body along with yourself as a PUP area representative? What does that mean? How does work move forward in a more seamless manner in this way?
It means that we are going to work faster. It means that we're to work more efficient. It also means that we can complement each other. As you know, it's the same voters that we are looking after. So City Council and the constituency of Belmopan is the same. And what more than to have a PUP City Council and a PUP central government with the area representative working together. I think it's going to be wonderful. And the great responsibility that has been given to us and the mandate, a very strong mandate by the electorates here in Belmopan, both in the November elections and now. I think that we have our job cut out and we start tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. And congratulations, I guess.
There we go, sights and sounds from Belmopan as the mayoral candidate, Ms. Sharon Palacio, comes out for her victory speech with a full slate, a full PUP slate of PUP candidates. Here we have Ms. Nikki Augustine and several other first-timers, along with one or two more experienced candidates forming the new Belmopan City Council. A short while ago, we also saw a concession speech of sorts from candidate Jackie Burns that was posted on her campaign's Facebook site. So we knew by then. The official numbers still aren't out yet, but we had that concession speech. We've had now a victory speech from now Mayor, well, she hasn't been sworn in yet, but Mayor-elect Sharon Palacio and her area representative, Oscar Mira, along with the rest of the PUP slate. As you can see, there's quite a crowd out here. It's well beyond curfew hours, but this crowd has been sort of tolerated, essentially, as police officers and security personnel have looked on while they slowly gathered, while the reports of the PUP's strong lead were coming out. You know, although we did see some spraying, some sanitization mostly, social distancing has been thrown out the window pretty much. Hopefully, this doesn't end up coming back to bite the new administration in the end, but we'll see how it all turns out. So sounds like it's going to be pretty much it from Belmopan. Hopefully the official numbers come out in a few, and we can have that for you as well. But for now, on behalf of cameraman Chris Mangar, I'm Andrew Marsden from Belmopan for Municipal Elections 2021.
Well, thank you so much, Andre Marsden, for the wonderful job you've done all day for us from Belmopan. And I guess we close the book on Belmopan. I want to say that I'm very disappointed to see so many people out there not practicing social distancing, and I just hope that we don't.
And some of them had on their pass, so we know that they were entitled to be out there, but some didn't have their pass. And I mean, it's good that you won. We'd like you to celebrate, but not this way. I mean, we saw what happened last election. The problem was not going to the polls. It was all that happened after, you know, all that hugging and everything. I wish there would be more conscience. I was happy that earlier we saw others and that wasn't happening. So people be careful. I mean, it's not a good sign.
We
getting any numbers from anybody else?
So
we even need numbers right now.
I believe that we have. Okay, I thought we had Aurelia. We're trying to get Aurelia Shaw from Punta Gorda on the line as we speak. I think he's on. Do we have him now? Okay, let's go to Aurelia Shaw from Punta Gorda.
Okay. A very pleasant good night reporting here at beautiful Punta Gorda, and it's almost, let's see, it's 20 minutes past 10 o'clock, and we're right here at the counting area with the mayor in waiting, Mr. Charles Salgado, because right now we have received a clear indication from returning officer, because there has been 6 boxes that are out with unofficial numbers and figures awaiting from the returning officers, but there are huge leads coming out of the people, coming from the People's United Party slate. So right now, I think you are the mayor in waiting. How you feel right now? Talk to us. Tell us about this. I mean, I know that right now, I believe that, you know, you're victorious.
Well, yes, it's a nice feeling. It's a very good feeling. And this was expected, you know, because earlier I spoke to you guys, and I had hinted to you that this would have been the outcome. Because, you know, during our campaign, you know, the people assured us, that gave us their pledge, and, you know, this is the outcome of it. You know, and I'm happy about this outcome. You know, it is unofficial, but, you know, all indications are that, yes, we are victorious.
Definitely victorious, Kaz. I could see, based on our observation here, there is no representatives from the BPP, the Green Party, and also the UDP councillors. Only the councillors that were here a while ago have left, and right now it's only the People's United Party crew that are here. And is this, you think this has an influence because there is a PUP central government?
Most naturally, yes, because that was one of our main focus. You know, we have let the people know, you know, we beat that into their head. You know, why do we need to put another party in local government here in PG, and when we have central government, you know, as the People's United Party government, you know, that would have been very odd. You know, we here in PG, we suffer a lot, and this was because of that type of outcome during elections. You know, people in Punta Gorda, they have a mind of themselves, you know, and they tried different things, and I'm happy that today they tried the best that suited this town, you know, and our team, I believe, is one of the best team that is going to show the whole world that we mean business.
Right, and you now, you know, shortly after, right now, you could say that work starts now. right? Is that your feeling right now? What are some of the first things that you're gonna do shortly after swearing in session?
Well, like my pledge to my people is that we will do first things first, you know. If you walk around Punta Gorda town, you drive around Punta Gorda town, you can see for yourself that our streets are in, man, dilapidated condition. So that is one of the first things that we are going to address immediately as we take office.
Anything you take into consideration how you're going to tackle this in this COVID-19 situations with the COVID-19 pandemic?
Of course, yes. Because
any plans towards how you move your town towards in this very hard times we're going through?
Of course, because like I told you earlier, the central government is going to assist us. You know, we don't know what we will find at the council when we get in there in another few hours. So first we're going to have to study that first and see where we stand financially and how we're going to move forward from there. But we are depending on our government, our central government, to give us that push, that push for a start, you know. And I believe that, yes, they have pledged their support to us too, so I can talk on their behalf.
And I know as a mayor in waiting, I know that one of the strategies is to try to find out some of the discrepancies occurring at the mayor's office or the municipality here in Punta Gorda. Are you going to do investigations or anything, any of this within the here in Punta Gorda town?
Well, of course, remember it's the people's money, you know, and we don't spend.
Do you know of any discrepancies?
No, not that. What I cannot speak for what I cannot speak of what I am not sure of it, you know, and that is why when we get in there, we are going to do an audit of this office and the entire administration there. And if there is anything that we need to address, then we are going to address it. We are going to make the public know what is going on there.
Okay. Well, certainly the mayor in waiting, we want to congratulate you. And of course, any additional message you want to share with the people of Belize and of course your constituent, the people of Punta Gorda?
Okay. Yes. To my Punta Gorda people, first of all, I want to thank them 100% for coming out for us, me and my team, and we assure you that we will be meeting with you as soon as possible. We'll be walking the streets again with you. You know, we are not going to wait until the next general election to visit you and to get you involved in some decision making in how we take Punta Gorda forward. And I want to thank all of you for coming out again to support this massive Team 7 that we have launched our campaign with throughout the past few weeks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Charles Salgado and the mayor in waiting, and we congratulate you once more. Thank you very much. And of course, that is the information that we can report to you here at the counting area, as there is one more box, as what I was made aware, pending. So as soon as we get that, we will get the official numbers coming in from the returning officers as we update you with those figures, which is very important at this moment. But at this moment, there's all indications that there is a high lead for the full slate for the People's United Party here for the municipal elections 2021 in Punta Gorda town. My name is Aurelio Shaw, live on Channel 5.
Hey, welcome back. Now we have a new feature, or not a new feature, but new for us this evening.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
We're going to go over to Carolyn, who's going to be showing us some numbers and on the big screen and making some predictions.
Playing with that toy over
Playing
there.
with a new toy.
I tell you, it certainly is.
Thank you to Full Tech.
I declare. And I wanted to start by saying clearly, as we've been saying earlier, that it was anticipated that the blue wave would continue from November. But what we were also saying is that more than likely that we would have had some council where a councillor or maybe a mayor may slip in.
Yeah.
And that is simply because when we look at the trend, if you can go back to 2003, you saw it happened in San Pedro. If you look at 2006, you saw it happen in Punta Gorda and Viejo. If you go to 2009, you saw it happened in Orange Walk. If you go to 2012, you saw it happening in Belmopan. You also saw it happening in Punta Gorda and San Pedro. And then if you go to 2015, you saw it happening in Orange Walk. And if you go into 2018, you saw it happening in Dangriga. So we are saying that more than likely in one municipality, we may end up getting one councillor or maybe a mayor slipping in, but time will tell, we're going to see. But then when it comes to the straight, down the line, Belize City, of course, has been showing a trend for being your either or either, if one would put it that way. So you're either going full red or you're going full blue. In fact, when I was doing some research, I'm thankful to Mrs. Myrtle Palacio. And you can Google it, you can go online. There is a document she did that showing you the Belize City Council and the election results. And I think it was way back in 1974 that we had a split between the UDP and the UDP and the People's United Party. But from since then, it has been solid, as we are seeing. And as you know, we are now calling this for the People's United Party, because the numbers are such overwhelming that more than likely that is what's going to complete the day. It will just be a matter of who may be topping the polls in that. Belmopan, we've already seen that the mayoral candidate for Belmopan has conceded, Jacqueline Burns, and we have seen that the People's United Party again has prevailed. Corozal, if you look at it again, Corozal again has been another that has been either blue or red, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. And of course, Corozal has gone blue. Orange Walk had some splits, as we have seen in 2009 and in 2015, and of course that has gone blue.
Yes.
San Ignacio, now San Ignacio is very interesting, because if you keep looking at it from 2003, at least the data that we have pulled, which is 6 election cycles, have always stood red.
Yeah.
They've never had a mix. So let's see if tonight, quite possibly, we may have a mix.
We are hearing reports of a mix, Caroline.
Yeah. And so we're going to wait and see if maybe that may be the one that holds out. We're going to see. Stan Creek, again, as far as we're aware, has gone blue. All right, working with this little marker. PG, we just heard from the mayoral candidate for the People's United Party, and there's a PG has gone blue. San Pedro,
gone blue,
solid blue. And again, if you look at both PG and San Pedro, again, those have had cases where they've had splits. But for this, they have gone full blue. Viejo, as far as where we are trending full blue, but there is no final word on that as yet. So what we're seeing is that out of the 9 municipalities, we already have 7 that are solid blues, and we're looking at San Ignacio and Benque to see what's going to happen there.
Okay, can we put you on hold 1 second? Thanks, Caroline.
Absolutely.
I think we have an interview with Terry and Mr. Alan Pollard.
Oh, okay. I mean, hope that's the leader of the opposition.
All right, folks, we're standing outside. We're standing outside the Queen Square counting station, which is the Anglican school, the St. John's Anglican School. This is polling area number 12, sorry. Number 21 is St. John Vianney, which is the other polling station or other polling area for the Queen Square division. And we're the councillor candidate. And he's also a current councillor in the present administration for the Belize City Council. And we're talking about Alan Pollard. Yes. You topped the polls last time, right? In the last city council election.
Convention.
No, I'm talking about the last city council 3 years ago?
Oh yeah, well, top 3.
Top 3? All right, good. So to give the man more than a due. But anyways, what is it like going inside right now, with the counting on the way?
Well, that's why I'm outside. I don't like this part, right? This is the most nerve-wracking part. So I prefer to stay outside and just wait for some updates from my team. But it's very positive from what we're gathering so far in terms of, you know, we know Queen Square is a difficult ground. And you know, this is all part of the process of gaining ground in this area, and this is an integral part of that journey. So we feel good as a team. We feel good.
So you think it's too close to call, or it's going slightly red?
It's too close to call right now. Based on what I'm hearing, and a lot of boxes are being recounted as we speak. So I can't say it.
But from the looks of things, from how you were seeing it previously, the hint might be that it's a little bit...
Of course, yeah, of course. It's normally that way, and you know, but we are fighting in there, of course.
Okay, so this man, he's keeping it to his chest, all right?
Of course.
All right, so like he mentioned, like Alan mentioned, it's too close to call, but it's looking a little red. Usually it's very red.
Very, very red.
Crimson.
Usually. But that whole dynamic is changing, and it's part of the process that, like I said, we're undergoing right now. Me being in here, I mean, I'm still very young in this area, and it shows the time that we're putting in, the energy, the efforts. It's showing slowly but surely, election after election. So
how long is it going to take before we get the official tally?
I'd say like 20 to 30 minutes tops.
All right, so keep us posted. Posted.
I will.
Thank you. That's Alan Pollard, folks, and he's the councillor candidate for the Queen Square area representing the People's United Party. We'll keep on circling, and we'll keep on keeping you abreast of what's going on in the municipal elections 2021, along with Denver Florida Terry G on the MIC live on 5.
Then get 4.
Okay, we're back, and so let's continue on the chart, Ms. Caroline.
Yes, and so if we can continue and to kind of wrap up this, at least for now, we're now seeing, of course, that from the 7 municipalities, we have, from the 9 municipalities, we have 7 solid blues. We have 2 municipalities that we're still waiting on, San Ignacio, Santa Elena, and Benqueviejo. And if you recall, we were talking earlier, and we were talking that at some municipality, we may have a seeping, maybe not but a seeping in.
Yeah.
And I had indicated that more than likely it was going to be the west, because the trend is there. And it is not that in terms of the trend, if I can repeat that part, the trend from the elections that we have been seeing from 2003 right up to 2018 is that there has always been at least one municipality that picks up a seepage.
Yeah.
And we're going, and more than likely, because we're not getting anything final yet from San Ignacio, Santa Elena, or Benqueviejo, but more than likely it's going to come, and I said it, from the west, and we're going to, more than likely we're going to see it from San Ignacio, Santa Elena.
We're getting some stuff in from San Ignacio, and it looks like it's going to be UDP Mayor Trapp is going to be coming in again, and with possibly 2 PUP councillors. Those are the preliminary numbers.
That's a chipping away at that power. But honestly, when I look at that graph what you're showing there, Caroline, what I see in terms of the UDP is a massive blowout against them. Because if you look at the trend there, in 2008 is when the UDP came in with a landslide. But the PUP at least held on in the municipal election of 2009 to 1 municipality. In the next cycle in 2012, they gained 3 more. They had 4. In 2015, yes, they slipped, but then they came back, right?
That's right.
No, in 2021, you will see all blue except for 1 that's mixed. Imagine, paralleling almost to what the UDP had in 2006. In 2006, how could you move from 2006 of having all municipalities in your favor to going now to 1 to almost nil? It's a massive blowout for the UDP if the leader of the opposition doesn't get the message that people are sending to him. Dean Barrow left their party in utter disgrace, that people have literally swung against them so massively. I mean, in areas that are usually strong, even if Mayor Trapp stays on as mayor and there are 2 other candidates, it's still a massive chipping away considering the kind of stronghold it was. Even the loss of Benke, I mean, that was once upon a time like an eternally stronghold. So that is massive loss to them.
Can we go over to Harry Arzu? who's with the chairlady of the PUP in PG, I believe. He's in PG. So can we go to that video, please?
Good night. Good night, folks. I am Harry Arzu, reporting for Channel 5's Municipal Elections 2021. With me at this time is Lena Bernardes, who is the chairlady of the People's United Party, who can tell us a little bit more about what's happening there in the counting room in here at Ecumenical High School. As we know earlier, or we already got some information, indication that the polling area 92 Sacred Heart here in Dangriga, the PUP has won that box.
Yes, it's confirmed, unconfirmed report, but we're leading the box, the Sacred Heart box. And I just went and walked around the other counting rooms, and I can say that the PUP is leading in all the boxes in all the counting room. I can say that it is guaranteed that Mr. Mariano will be the next mayor of Dangriga town. When it comes to the councillor candidates, we are not sure because there are a lot of split votes. But again, our councillor candidates, they are leading in most of the boxes, but we cannot tell at this time about the councillor candidates. But I can speak of the mayoral candidate, and I know that Mr. Mariano will be victorious after the counting is over.
Thank you very much, Lena. And of course, again, we just want to remind folks that those who contested in today's elections, especially focusing on the mayoral candidates, Robert Mariano, Francis Humphreys, Christopher Lewis, and Rodney Nunes. This is Harry Azu reporting for Channel 5, Municipal Elections 2021, along with cameraman Wilmer Reyes.
There you go. Thank you very much for that report. And Caroline, we've been seeing the trend, and
absolutely,
and the board is almost filled. So San Ignacio, it looks like will be mixed. You were warning us that
only mix
that you might see
at least one
or two like
and
that.
I also said that it was going to come from the west.
Yes, you did. Yeah,
I tell you, man, your predictions
I trust you.
crazy.
You're good. You're good at this, Caroline.
It's crazy.
So we're still waiting for Benque Viejo and San Ignacio.
Okay.
But I don't expect any
like I said, more than likely
change.
we are going to see it, but the final numbers are going to tell us. And also remember, when elections may be close, there may also be recounts, as we saw in
Sean, none of them close
2018. When and there was a 36.
Okay, sorry, I'm going to break in. Sorry, my apologies.
No, go right ahead.
We're just getting this from Benque. And now Benque
we wait to hear that.
Has 4,191 registered voters, a total of 2,593 persons voted. Unofficially, the PUP won 8 of 12 boxes, but we've seen that before, no?
Yeah.
But we don't have the
This is
numbers.
just getting us some numbers.
But so then it looks like Benque might go blue as well. And then again, we're saying unofficially that Mayor Trapp was successful.
As mayor?
As mayor.
But the slate is blue.
But no, we're hearing that the slate might be blue.
Except for one candidate.
So, but the numbers have flopped.
Exactly.
So again, we remind everyone that these numbers that we're getting are unofficial, no?
And if you go right back to, if you recall, in Punta Gorda in 2006, where the People's United Party got the mayor and one councillor, and then there were five UDPs.
That was
so quite possibly it's a flip, but now in
the other way.
Yes, we'll see.
Well, I know while we're waiting,
Mayor Trapp, it might very well be working with a PUP council. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it's possible.
Yes,
that's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't go so bad in Punta Gorda. They actually worked together. There was one little rough riff, but nothing eventful.
I think it would be
it's political maturity.
I agree.
You have to. You have to.
And now it's about working together, as you said. It's about partnerships. Government working with municipal authorities, working with the private sector, working with civil society, all towards a common good and a common goal.
Well, while we are talking about working together, I'll have to give my parting shots because I have to work tomorrow. I actually have a job and I get paid, so I have to go do that tomorrow. I don't know why we don't have a
don't have a job and we don't get paid.
No, you said you get a stipend. He owns his own business, he pays himself. No, but on a serious note, a very serious note, I was really waiting to see at what hour the leader of the opposition would have made a statement. Yeah. I think like the real protocol should have been that by now he says something and then we hear from the incumbent leader. I don't know how long that will take, but I really have to go prepare for work tomorrow. So my parting shot is that, you know, I can see the trend. I can see and understand what the society sees and thinks. It's unfortunate that we actually have a winner-takes-it-all system. We need check and balances that are not within the system. The people, our voters, are not mature enough to push and pressure more. We still have a long way to go. But one of the good things is, I think that came out for me is that unlike what I predicted or I had thought there would be a low voters turnout, it's still a bit low, but not as low as I think. And given that we just came off a national election, it's really fairly high, you would say. Not that it's high, but you understand, people actually came out, which is good. And the trend was that they mostly came out in the evening. Maybe a lot of factors contributed to that, but it's good to see that people came out. My position with many people was come out and vote no matter what.
How was the turnout for the national elections?
Excellent. Remember, it was like in the high 70s in some areas. I think the highest, wasn't the highest like 90-something, 92?
Yeah, we had some good...
in Queen Square, I think Queen Square had the highest voter turnout. So compared to that, yes, it's a bit low, but still good considering that a lot of us were saying, well, you know, people were suffering from election fatigue. There was some fatigue, yes, but I really admire those who came out and exercised their franchise. To the leader of the opposition, I must say that you have a constitutional duty to be a vibrant opposition, and you cannot come on and keep saying, oh, look what they're doing, when you could have done better when you were there. What people need to hear is not you criticizing the party in government because the reason you're in opposition, because you failed to do what was right. What people need to hear is the reform your party is having. If you can't reform within, you can't come and criticize. The PUP learned that since 2008. They went through the same thing. They were criticizing when they had just come out of power after being one of the most corrupt government ever. And then they eventually got the hang of it and began realizing they had to reform. So the trend has got to be reform. And I say that I honestly believe, and I don't mind being proven wrong, that I do not see Patrick Faber being able to lead the party into the other election, but prove me wrong. Nothing personal against him. If he cannot bring the unity and reform the party needs, they will not have any credibility. People don't want to hear their criticism. On that note, I have to leave.
Thank you so much.
I will leave Mark here. Mark, who has shown how rabid he can be too with me.
I just try to be fair and
No, you don't want to see that there's another way to do things.
Well,
but of course, it's the electorate who will have to make that decision, which you are part of one, and you are an influencer as well. Caroline, I really always admire how you could crunch the figures.
I just can't figure out why you didn't want to go serve in the Senate under Madam President.
I personally don't feel I'm cut out for that kind of office. I like being on the outside and being an advocate and to pressure and being the influencer as I'm called. I don't feel I'm called for that. So good night to you guys.
No, you won't leave it.
Oh
I must to bring this map that Channel 5 has done, showing
lovely graphic,
showing us what areas have been called and what areas have not
been called.
So,
but it's interesting that they put San Ignacio red when San Ignacio is not really red. They should have split that color.
That's because of the mayor. I don't know. I guess the numbers have been flopping, so we'll see.
We're hearing that what we're listening to was the mayor is red. There are 2 blue and 4 red.
But
so that's what we're hearing. We don't know. Yes. That may be shifting.
They're saying the slate, that one is blue. Anyhow, we move to a break and we'll be back. Thank you so much for being with us. Stay tuned. We'll continue to try and give you all the updates as we get them. Channel 5 Municipal Elections 2021. Thank you.
Welcome to Belize Healthcare Partners Limited, where the health and wellness of the youngest members of your family are important to us.
We are offering here all the care of the babies, newborns, adolescents, toddlers. We also have a neonatal area in case a baby needs a NICU. We have an ICU area for pediatric patients, offering treatment for asthma or patients after a surgery or any other emergency that the kids have. We have an emergency with all the equipment and all the nurses, especially for the babies and the kids.
For child-friendly pediatric and neonatal care, call us at 280-5000 today.
Belize Healthcare Partners Limited, your leader in healthcare.
Are you traveling? Effective January 26, all passengers traveling internationally will need to get tested no more than 3 days before you travel to the United States and show your negative result to the airline before you board your flight. Here at Caring Hands Clinic in San Pedro, we administer the antigen test, frequently referred to as a rapid test. Our products are CDC compliant and FDA approved. Testing has never been this easy. With our highly certified and licensed medical staff, we provide you with an accurate test result in minutes, making your experience fast, safe, and easy. To book your appointments today, contact us on any of our hotlines at 671-TEST or 672-TEST, 226-FAST, or our Vonage line at 305-420-6203. Book your appointments online at www.belizecovidtest.com. Caring Hands Clinic Antigen Test Center. We're pleased to serve you.
That's the sound of fuel efficiency. Every day, every time, I choose Una Fuels, powered with Dynamax. Una, a brand committed with the future.
In these challenging times, the one thing that is certain is that the Belize Bank Limited is here for you. There is nothing more important than your health and safety, and we continue to make every effort to make banking safer for you. Our staff is working around the clock to make sure you can do your banking conveniently 24/7 using our mobile banking app and online banking and keeping ATMs up and running. We value your relationship with us and are here to provide the support you need. First responders are also out there 24/7. Thank you, healthcare workers, security forces, firefighters, caregivers. You are all appreciated. Stay safe. We will get through this together. The Belize Bank, our country, your bank.
The Belize Tax Service Department is preparing to implement a modern, more efficient tax system with a Phase 1 rollout scheduled for July 2021. In preparation, taxpayers are advised that our employees will be getting in contact via phone, email, and walk-in visits to obtain updated information, including business certificates and company documents, contact and employment information. Our employees will always properly identify themselves when they contact you, and should you wish to verify their authority, you may contact any of our offices countrywide. The new integrated tax administration system will give taxpayers greater command of their tax profile, providing a full suite of e-services that will be accessible anytime, anywhere. Our department thanks taxpayers for their continued support as we work on ways to better serve Belize. Together, we build Belize. Your contributions, our development.
Working off-site doesn't mean you have to be off your game. Studies have shown that by simply adding a keyboard and mouse to your laptop, it increases your productivity by 26%. And adding a monitor takes it up by 35%. At Full-Tech Systems, we have what you need to enhance your remote work or e-learning experience with devices such as headsets, video conferencing monitors, webcams, keyboards, mice, docking stations, all with the brands that you can rely on. With collaboration tools such as Microsoft 365 Suite and Kaspersky, your team can stay connected and perform efficiently no matter where they are. Full-Tech Systems, your trusted technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
The virus that causes COVID-19 may be spreading in our community. People might have the disease even if they have no symptoms at all, even when they look healthy. Because the virus needs us to spread from one person to another, we can stop it from infecting others if we practice physical distancing. That means stay at least 6 feet away from other persons. Don't shake hands or exchange hugs. Do not gather in groups. Stay home if government officials tell you to do so. Use social media or telephone to communicate. Avoid crowded and enclosed spaces. Work from home if you can. Stay home if you are sick, except to get medical care. Avoid close contact with sick people. Don't visit anyone who's sick in quarantine or in isolation. Give them a call instead. Help keep Belize safe.
DIGI y el Banco Nacional de Belice se enorgullecen de asociarse con el gobierno de Belice para facilitar el desembolso de los fondos de la transferencia de efectivo COVID-19 de Belice a través de nuestra plataforma segura y fácil de usar, Mobile Pays. Después de obtener la aprobación como beneficiario de los fondos de ayuda, se le informará por SMS cuando su pago mensual haya sido depositado en su cuenta de Mobile Pays, a qué tienda DIGI o sucursal de Banco Nacional se le asignó y cuándo puede ir a cobrar. Debe traer consigo el teléfono al que se le envió la notificación para presentar su número de cuenta y para recibir su código de validación y recibo. También debe traer su tarjeta de seguro social válida. Después de que su información sea verificada, recibirá un código de validación que deberá dar al agente. El agente le entregará el monto total de los fondos asignados para ese mes y usted recibirá un recibo vía SMS con un número único de transacción. DIGI y el Banco Nacional de Belice están comprometidos con el desarrollo de servicios innovadores en beneficio de todos los beliceños.
Women have been and continue to be our pillars, the movers and shakers of our society in varied ways, including construction. Although women continue to shoulder responsibilities in and outside the home, their roles continue to evolve, just like those of men. This change can have positive and negative impacts. Change is a collaborative effort. That's why the National Women's Commission and companies like Brothers Habet are advocating for change in our homes and in our society. Let's give women the respect and support they deserve for their continued contributions. In commemoration of Women's Month, as a show of solidarity and appreciation, Brothers Habet is offering 15% off all items store-wide all month long. For women, balance for better, innovate for change.
Looking for unique ways to create the mood at your special event? Want to make an impression and stand out from the crowd? Then, Prestige Productions can help you. Belize's newest event production company offers world-class production and state-of-the-art event lighting and special effects. They can also provide audio production, professional DJ services, and MCs to host your events. Make your weddings, birthdays, live shows, conferences, or corporate events come alive with innovative technology and creativity that is sure to add the wow factor to your event. Prestige Productions, elegance is our forte.
Congratulations to our Bellikin Papa Stopper winners to date. Continue popping those stoppers out for Bellikin for a chance to win free beer, $20, $100, or $1,000.
Papa Stopper! Bellikin, the beer of Belize.
Welcome to Belize Healthcare Partners Limited, where the health and wellness of the youngest members of your family are important to us.
We are offering here all the care of the babies, newborns, adolescents, toddlers. We also have a neonatal area in case a baby needs an NICU. We have an ICU area for pediatric patients, offering treatment for asthma or patients after a surgery or any other emergency that the kids have. We have an emergency with all the equipment and all the nurses, especially for the babies and the kids.
For child-friendly pediatric and neonatal care, call us at 280-5000 today.
Belize Healthcare Partners Limited, your leader in healthcare.
Are you traveling? Effective January 26, all passengers traveling internationally will need to get tested no more than 3 days before you travel to the United States. And show your negative result to the airline before you board your flight. Here at Caring Hands Clinic in San Pedro, we administer the antigen test, frequently referred to as a rapid test. Our products are CDC compliant and FDA approved. Testing has never been this easy. With our highly certified and licensed medical staff, we provide you with an accurate test result in minutes, making your experience fast, safe, and easy. To book your appointments today, contact us on any of our hotlines at 671-TEST or 672-TEST, 226-FAST, or our Vonage line at 305-420-6203. Book your appointments online at www.belizecovidtest.com. Caring Hands Clinic Antigen Test Center. We're pleased to serve you.
And we're back, and we have the Prime Minister of Belize, who's granted us a few words. Yeah. So, Prime Minister?
Hi, good evening. Good evening to you all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with you and the people of Belize.
Yes, so tell us, what are you hearing unofficially, of course?
Well, unofficially is that it is going to be a clean sweep for the People's United Party that will be winning all over the country. And unfortunately, starting last year, it seems that we're going to win 5 out of 7, which is not too bad. But we'd have hoped we were hoping that we could have won all 7 in San Ignacio, Santa Elena.
Okay, and the mayor in San Ignacio, who would that be?
Well, it seems that Mayor Chop will be re-elected. Plus, I think it's Fernandez. Okay. But apart from that, the other 5 are going to be 5 councillors of the from the PUP.
Okay. Any news about Benke?
All indications are that there's going to be a clean sweep for the PUP in Benke.
Okay. Okay. Prime Minister, would you have anything you'd like to tell the nation at this time? We know you're tired. You've had a long day.
Yeah, I know it's been a very long day, but I am certainly, first of all, grateful for the people that, the people came out to vote, and especially to those that came out to show their overwhelming support for the People's United Party. It once again is demonstrating, giving us another mandate to be able to implement Plan Belize, to be able to fix the issues of the economy, to fix the wreckage of the UDP, both in the finances and the economy that the UDP left behind us. We are very hopeful, we are very optimistic. We believe that by working hard, that we'll be able to fix the finances of the government and that we can get Belizeans to back working again. And that's what Belizeans want at the end of the day. They want to work and to live a dignified life.
Well,
Prime Minister, this is clearly a mandate being given to the People's United Party, one that we imagine you wouldn't take lightly, but what commitments can you make, knowing that the majority of the municipalities will be PUP-led?
Well, it is going to be a challenge for us now that, we're pretty much all even short of San Ignacio, Santa Elena, that all the municipalities are going to be managed by the PUP. But we believe that by working together with central government, that a lot of synergies can be created. And even also working with San Ignacio, Santa Elena, after all, we have to respect the will of the people. And so we will work with everyone. But I believe that we need to look at the fundamental issues of the municipalities, and that is about financial sustainability. How is it that they could be financially sustainable without necessarily depending on the support of central government? That is one issue that we need to look at and address that, so that then they can be able to better provide the services that are expected from them by the people that they represent.
Okay, well, Prime Minister, we want to thank you so much for being with us and granting us these few words. Good luck and congratulations again.
Once again, thank you very much, Mark, and to you all at Channel 5. We are grateful for the work that you've been doing all day. It's a lot of work, and you have kept us informed, and we are grateful for that. But I take the opportunity to once again to thank all Belizeans that came out to vote for the candidates of their choice. Belizeans have spoken once again. They have given an overwhelming support or mandate to the PUP. It's a mandate that we do not take lightly, and that we do everything possible not to disappoint them, to work very hard, to turn things around, to make life better for everyone. And with that, I say thank you very much. May God continue to bless this wonderful country of ours. And to you all, good night. And once again, thanks for your hard work.
Thank you, Prime Minister, and good night to you too.
All right.
Well, there you have it, the Prime Minister of Belize talking and calling for this new need for financial sustainability in the municipalities as well. It is a key and constant theme that the Prime Minister and his government is saying, look, we've been on this unsustainable path for too long and we need to turn it around, and that is the primary focus. How do we get our country's economy repaired on a sustainable fashion? Because we can't continue on the same path of borrowing and spending and borrowing and spending.
And before we dive deeper into that part, and I want to come back to some of the things he said, just to use the information that he has provided to us, where their information so far, as in the party's information, is that Benke will go red, which Caroline...
Benke
will go blue.
I'm sorry.
Right, yeah.
Which would be another big change coming out of the West. He confirmed that Mayor Earl Trapp has secured his seat, along with an additional councillor candidate, and the other councillors are blue, or of the People's United Party. So we do have a split council there
might be
as
two,
well.
Two councillors that might be.
So that's also showing. So that confirms a lot of the data that we had already called, and that we had seen earlier. And I'm sure the residents of San Ignacio, Santa Elena are very happy to hear tonight on election night the Prime Minister saying for himself that he is going to work along with Mayor Trapp, because that's always a concern people have when you are a council from the opposing party.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that is encouraging to hear very early on, and having said it publicly on television, it can be something that they hold him accountable to.
Of course, the path now has to be about repairing partnerships, building, growing, and moving forward.
Yeah.
We have Terry Gordon, I believe, on the line, from Mesop. Is he in Mesop area?
He's in Belize City, that we know for sure.
Okay.
Let's see who he's talking to.
Dr. Sheldon Samuels. Usually he works in the Ministry of Education. Today he's the elections clerk for the Mesop division, something that he's been doing for quite some time now. Now, you were telling me earlier that the tally is finished, but there's still work to be done, which is going to be concluding at the command center, which is IT event.
Right. That is true. So what we have done here today is to actually look at the Conc 1 and the Conc 2. So now that we have completed looking at...
What do you mean by Conc 1 and Conc 2, Doc?
But Conc 1, that's where the presiding officer actually calculate all the votes that were given for each candidate in each polling station. And then with our Conc 2 is where you've taken the polling station, all the polling station for a particular polling area, and you add them up. So that's what we have done here, is to actually calculate the polling stations for each polling area to get a Conc 2. And now we are heading over to the command center where the returning officer will be certifying those tallies.
This is usually a UDP stronghold, and they usually win by wide margins. Was that the same today, or was it more closer than normal?
Generally, it's practically the same, whereby the United Democratic Party have maintained the lead in Mesopotamia that they have traditionally done.
Okay, so we'll be awaiting the final tally. We won't hold you back anymore. Thank you very much, Doc.
Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Samuels, and like I mentioned, he's the election clerk. He's heading over to meet with his returning officer, Ms. Annabelle Bennett. So along with Denver Fairweather, this is Tara G on the MIC. And we're talking about municipal elections 2021, live on 5.
Okay, thank you there, Terry G on the MIC. long day, Terry. Thanks again. So, where are we now, Miss Caroline?
We are where we said we were going to be.
Because when you rely on the numbers,
you can't go wrong.
All right.
You absolutely can't go wrong. And at the end of the day, the trend has shown. This is the election post general election that swept the People's United Party into office, but swept them in what they call this tsunami, a huge wave, clearly, and blowout, as to use the colloquial term. There was a blowout, and so conventional wisdom prevailed in terms of the municipalities also going for the People's United Party, but the trends that were showing us and we were seeing in terms of voter turnout, we kept saying that it goes almost back to the voter turnout of what we saw in 2009, which was the post-2008. So the turnout was literally almost the same, with the exception of Corozal, and that went higher because of the by-election. But the numbers for Corozal speaks to also the same numbers, almost just off by 1% for 2012, which again was a by-election. So the data is quite in order, and what we also saw coming out of from 2003, at least the spectrum of the number of municipal elections that we have covered, in every election, there comes a council where there was going to be a split. One or two was going to seep in some way, shape, or form. We saw it consistently, and we were expecting that. We were also saying from very early that that expectation was going to come from the West, and that has manifested itself.
Yeah. You're the best.
We did say, and we saw it, and I was discussing with you earlier that the strongholds of the political parties come into play the year after. In 2009, after that huge sweep in 2008, we saw where Orange Walk was the turning factor, Orange Walk Central, where 4 of the People's United Party candidates got in. And that was a PUP stronghold. At that point in time, it was also remember the party leader at that time was also the Honorable John Briceño. And what we're seeing now in 2021, and we said it, that Cayo still, the Red Hills crumbled, but there is still that red of Cayo, and that came out again for this election 2021. So it is as we said, and so it has come to be.
All right, and I think, there's a lot of speculation that we can make at this point in time. One of the things we are grateful for is that we did have people who participated in our polls all day. And so we got some very quick, of course, this is not a scientific poll, I do want to say that. It was just a Facebook poll on our live stream from the number of people who had decided to vote. 49% said they were going to vote, those who participated in our stream. The total voter turnout was a bit over 57?
Yes, it's 57 point something. Yeah.
All right, and then we also had those who spoke of whether it matters to them if the central government is the same as the political party for the municipal government. 39% said yes, 45% no, and 16% uncertain. And then lastly, do you see today's election as a measure of satisfaction with the current administration? 45% said yes, 28% said no, and 27% said unsure. All right, so we want to thank the people who participated in those polls. Really just quick pulses that we can take at the moment.
And I think we should congratulate Channel 5 and the team for doing such a wonderful job as usual. And they've stepped up the game. Marlene, congratulations to you. You've brought a new level now to the way you display and the way you do polling and that sort of thing. So kudos to you as well, Marlene.
Well, we have an exceptional team here that have been working all night long. I see a lot of tired faces around. And I wasn't talking about the panel. I was talking about behind the scenes, right? But bringing it all back home, this is even if you had election fatigue, we won't be here again for another 3 years, And so there's been a lot that the people have high expectations after elections, and we saw that after the general elections.
Right.
And so I think one of the things that will be clear, or that will need to be communicated, as we heard earlier from the Prime Minister, is the gravity of the economic crisis that we are in. And looking at some of the campaigns and the slogans that were being used, it was all about tying into what will have the support of central government. But being very practical in looking forward, that support, it's not, some limitless supply that there is to offer. So it's also knowing that people have high expectations as to what's to come.
But a lot of the times, it's just in policy and how you support them, legally or administratively. There are many ways that you can partner together to be more efficient.
And it's also about leadership. One of the things we have consistently said, and we have seen it in the municipal elections, whereby we have seen some leaders, some municipal leaders who elevated themselves, who was leading the pack, and we saw clearly, and they have in their own way distinguished themselves from the others. And so a lot will rely on these municipal leaders, their own leadership style, their management style, their creativity, how they're going to innovate, how they were looking at ways of partnership, as you said, networking, because 15, 20 years ago, government was everything. you don't do anything unless government do something for you. Those days are over a long time ago, and I think we've seen where former mayor Darrell Bradley of Belize City, Khalid Belail, and Kevin Bernard. These are three that I felt over their period of time who distinguished themselves. Yeah. And Kevin was particularly, my dear Minister Kevin, he was particularly exemplary in the fact that where he stood in opposition. But it was his leadership, and I think we kept hearing that the way he networked, the way he partnered, he was able to do a lot because it's not just about government. And as I think, I'm not sure it was you who had mentioned it, by having the conversations, the need for taxes, being innovative about the partnerships and the networking. And I expect we now have a new mayor, Ladrick. He was very, and so someone remind me, he had always topped the polls as well. He was always ahead of the polls. And he himself has also distinguished himself. So we're expecting that same trend in some of the municipalities. Earl Trapp, again, he has won his election, what we're seeing. But again, if you listen to the kind of work that is taking place in Southern Nassau, he distinguished himself, and so we're going to see some of the new mayors. They're going to have to also be innovative and not say, if government not give me a candidate, but really start looking at the council. And not are you sure, and we discussed this earlier, and I heard you all
what we're seeing here on screen as we speak, and we can continue, is the ballots in San Pedro are being moved now, removed from the counting area.
Well, after the last municipal election,
when there was a recount.
This is an important one to document in case there's a need.
Yeah.
So they're being escorted.
Yeah, absolutely. But like I said, it's something that it's 2021, it's not 2010, it's not 2000. It's a new era. We have technology. As we keep saying, we have growing municipalities that have needs. They're going to be expected to deliver on those needs. Earlier, I heard you speaking a bit, you and William, talking about the whole issue of planning. As a planner, we have had this conversation, often talking about the municipalities need to be planned. Development need to be managed. How is it that you create jobs within your municipality, create better housing, better recreation space? And simple issue as land, I continue to say to municipalities, do a stock taking of your municipality. There are communities where 30–35% of land is vacant and unproductive. How do you bring that into productive use?
Exactly.
Collect tax.
Right.
You can't be paving street and fixing drains for areas that don't have no development.
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense. And so it's how you're creative and innovative. And like I said, the former mayors took on the municipal bonds. There are things that you can do. And
sister city relations, quite a few relied on that.
The partnerships, private sector, public sector, civil society. Because we can't, and we speak about being inclusive, more and more we're seeing there's a gap between the haves and the have-nots. Oftentimes, NGOs, civil society, they are the organizations that are on the ground who are working with these vulnerable communities, people who are living with HIV, persons who are differently abled, the elderly. All the statistics are pointing that globally we're going to have more older people. So we're having an aging population.
How are we going to plan for that?
Exactly. These are the things that municipalities have to grapple with, and you can no longer be sitting down and saying, oh, my law only say I'm supposed to do this. The law has to be amended and changed to reflect the times that we live in. So it's going to be an exciting time.
On that note, Madam.
Well, I was just going to jump in and say, before we wrap it all up and we say thank you to our very hard-working teams that were deployed across the country, most interesting, surprising, or notable win today? Let's start with you, Mark.
Wow. To be honest with you, I saw the wave coming and I called it at 6 o'clock. From before that, all my feelers were saying, the UDP had lost its credibility, rightfully so, and that it was going to be a massive surge. You always expect some surprises. I thought the possibility of one or two places remaining, UDP was quite realistic, or could have happened. But I at 6 o'clock when the polls closed, I said, I expect it to be a sweep, and I don't see it otherwise. I never saw the wave of red T-shirts that you usually see in line or out on the streets, and so the UDPs did not bring out their people for whatever reasons. But it wasn't a surprise for me, to be honest with you. I mean.
And I can similarly say the same things. We've been talking about it all day, that there are certain expectations. The numbers played out, as I said, exactly, or more or less that we said it would be. And of course, for us, it is always at the end of the day now, starting to go back and see where, I like to say, who did well.
Yeah.
So when you start going, like looking at the Belize City team, you're going to say who topped the polls, who came in, and that sort of give an indication of how popular people were and that sort of thing. But there were really no surprises in terms of what transpired today.
Well, I think what's notable, not necessarily for me, but is the number of young people who put themselves forward for this particular race. And when we got the early reports for Belize City, they're saying that two of the young candidates, Kaya Katus and Alan Pollard, are the ones topping. So I really do think that that's, maybe not interesting or surprising, but at least notable. So we've been including statistics about women candidates. We need to start talking about the young candidates as well.
And Sharon Palacio is also the first woman mayor for Belmopan.
And let us not forget.
So that is notable. Elvia is the first woman representative for Corozal Bay, and she will now join the Honorable Dolores Balaramos Garcia. So both the People's United Party and the United Democratic Party will have two women in the House, and I think that is just super.
Sure.
Well, it could be a lot better, but we'll say that that's better than what we had before. One more is better than what it was before. Yes, and so as of right now, what we do know, and based on the unofficial information, the 8 of the 9 municipalities are PUP slates. There is one mixed council being led by Earl Trapp, and that's in San Ignacio, Santa Elena. The last reports we got out of Benque, and of course confirmed by what the Prime Minister is saying, is that, we got Terry, who has one last update. Is that Terry G?
Yeah. We're not ready for Terry yet. I'll let you know.
So I was about to say, so Benque is about the only one we haven't gotten the official unofficial. But all information that we have received so far is that Benque will more than likely be a PUP
United Party
town council.
And when we do the final, as we like to say, you're going to start seeing who is going to emerge come 2024 and 2025. Because more than likely, Earl Trapp, having survived, will be the United Democratic Party candidate come 2025. And you're going to have, Campus is going to be back in Corozal.
There you go.
Doubt. So those are some of the things you have to start thinking now. And
hold that thought. Let's go to Terry. Is Terry ready? Let's go to Terry. Terry, you still working?
We're live. In vivo. That's right, folks. We're in front of St. Martin's de Porres School, polling stations 17 and 17B for the Lake Independence Division. I think they have about 4,700 plus voters in this area, and if I'm not mistaken, about 2,700 turned out today, according to the returning officer who filled me in earlier this evening, Miss Therese Martinez. She's a custom officer, by the way. And so what's going on inside now is the final tally. She told me, Terry, I don't have the final figures. I'm going around checking with my presiding officers to see what's going on and get the final tally. But it's 4 or 5 to 1 in favor of the People's United Party in terms of the actual discrepancy in voting. So, well, for lack of a better word, there's that wide gap there, about 4 or 5 to 1, okay, in favor of the Bernard Wagner-led People's United Party City Council slate for this year. So I don't know we will have to continue around and do a little wrap-up because it's winding down now, folks. It's all set. As we can see, we've been looking around. We have a Sani inside the IT vet building, and the only thing left for me now is to get a final tally from the Queen Square division, and I was promised that we will be getting that in just a few, and after that I think it's going to be a wrap, except to hear from my colleague in the IT vet building with the returning officer, Miss Anna Bennett. So on behalf of my small crew, my one-man crew, I'm talking about Denver Fairweather, my cameraman technician extraordinaire, this is Terry G on the MIC. And like I say, we're live on 5.
Right, thank you very much, Terry, for that report. And again, no surprises there.
So it's a good time for us, I guess, to take that break. We have a few more sign-offs that are coming from Corozal and some other parts of the country. So we'll take that break. When we come back, we'll get the latest and the final updates from our correspondents.
The Belize Tax Service Department reminds all employed persons that the deadline to complete and submit their employee tax return form is Wednesday, March 31st, 2021. By now, employers were to have given employees their TD4 form, which provides official information relating to the process. You can download the Employee Income Tax Return Form by visiting www.bts.gov.bz and then clicking Forms. The form downloads automatically when you click the BTS 203 form. You are to completely fill out the form, ensuring that the information entered is accurate and truthful. If you require help to complete your income tax return form, you can access a thorough video tutorial by visiting the Belize Tax Services website or Facebook page. We thank you for being a responsible citizen.
The world as we know it has changed. Now, more than ever, local businesses need our support. Whether they're taking online orders, setting appointments, or taking reservations, our business customers depend on us for the best in business solutions, high-quality products, and reliable services to keep them connected to their customers, to keep their doors open. Digi is ready for this change, and we're committed to doing what it takes to ensure that businesses can remain profitable during this time. Digi is here, and you don't have to do this alone. Together, let's embrace the new and unlock all the waiting possibilities.
Are you traveling? Effective January 26, all passengers traveling internationally will need to get tested no more than 3 days before you travel to the United States, and show your negative result to the airline before you board your flight. Here at Caring Hands Clinic in San Pedro, we administer the antigen test, frequently referred to as a rapid test. Our products are CDC compliant and FDA approved. Testing has never been this easy. With our highly certified and licensed medical staff, we provide you with an accurate test result in minutes, making your experience fast, safe, and easy. To book your appointments today, contact us on any of our hotlines at 671-TEST or 672-TEST, 226-FAST, or our Vonage line at 305-420-6203. Book your appointments online at www.belizecovidtest.com. Caring Hands Clinic Antigen Test Center. We're pleased to serve you.
Do you have questions about your reproductive health? The team at Belize Healthcare Partners Limited is here to give you answers.
We take pride in offering a wide range of gynecological services, including family planning, annual checkups, cancer screening, fertility treatments, and more. For expectant mothers, our top priority at Healthcare Partners is optimal maternal and child health. We'll listen to your questions and concerns and guide you through every step of the journey.
We're fully equipped to handle any gynecological and obstetrical concerns, so call to schedule an appointment today. Belize Healthcare Partners Limited, your leader in healthcare.
Women have been and continue to be our pillars, the movers and shakers of our society in varied ways, including construction. Although women continue to shoulder responsibilities in and outside the home, their roles continue to evolve, just like those of men. This change can have positive and negative impacts. Change is a collaborative effort. That's why the National Women's Commission and companies like Brothers Habet are advocating for change in our homes and in our society. Let's give women the respect and support they deserve for their continued contributions. In commemoration of Women's Month, as a show of solidarity and appreciation, Brothers Habet is offering 15% off all items store-wide all month long. For women, balance for better, innovate for change.
Carolyn said she's been on the job since 6 a.m. this morning and longer than that because she woke up early to prep for the show.
Yes, she's done an incredible job, and her predictions were right on key as usual.
As always.
Right on target. So I'm always impressed by her knowledge and her level of preparation as well.
Yeah. All right, so we are getting ready to close things off for today. We're going to say thank you to all of our correspondents across the country, starting off in Corozal. We had Dwayne Moody and George Tillett working in Orange Walk. We had Andrea Polanco and George Tillett and Daryl Miguel, in Belize City, Isani Caetano and Kieran Rock. And we had Terry G along with Denver Fairweather. We had Marian Ali and Kenroy Michael in San Pedro. In Cayo, we had Jose Sanchez and Raf Collado. In Dangriga, we had Harry Arzu along with Wilmer. And in Punta Gorda, we had Aurelia Shaw along with Gaspar Sanchez. Cannot forget our good friend in Belmopan, Andre Marsden, working along with Chris Mangar. And that was just the team we had out in the field. There were a lot of people working behind the scenes here. Of course, big thanks to you for coming in.
It's always a pleasure, and I'm always impressed by the level of teamwork at Channel 5, and it's a pleasure for me to be here. I've enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I can be at least a little helpful.
Well, we appreciate you coming in and bringing in your insight and your perspective.
Thank you.
And of course, to Carolyn, who is sneaking off at this point. And we had also Audrey, we had William, we had Brighton as well, who came in, and we thank our guests who joined us via Zoom as well. We have a hardworking crew behind the scenes. Thank you so much. And we are actually, I believe, going to sign off. We didn't get our last report. We do have one final report. You want to take 3 more minutes?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, so we got something coming in from Orange Walk. They're going to get that queued up for us. And I know this is the official results now, so we can close with that officially. That would be looking at the results for now soon to be Mayor Ladrick Shepherd, Mayor Madbull.
Okay.
7 votes here for the United Democratic Party. Henry Gomez, 1,326 votes. Okay. One moment. Ready there? Test 1, 2. Good. of the Town Council regulation, the results of persons elected to be members of the Town Council, the Orange Walk Municipality, are, we have here, for Mayor, Logic Mad Bull Shepherd for the People's United Party, with votes polled, 4,521 votes. Okay. For the People's United Party, as Councillor, Fernando Big Sanchez, with 4,544 votes. PUP Councillor, Josie Canton, with 4,538 votes. People's United Party, Kadir Escalante, Councillor, 4,523 votes. For the People's United Party, Dorette Denise Pascasio, Councillor, 4,487 votes. For the People's United Party, Alan Yu, Councillor, 4,466 votes. For the People's United Party, Joanna Rodriguez, Councillor, 4,444 votes. Okay, and now I will read out the votes polled for the United Democratic Party. Orlando Chicle Castillo, 1,166 votes. Shamika N. Bull for the United Democratic Party, 1,460 votes. For the United Democratic Party, Estelita Miscacho Carlos, 1,435 votes. For the United Democratic Party, Melvin Twin Adolphus, 1,397 votes. For the United Democratic Party, Andy Teacher Yam, Councillor, 1,369 votes. For the United Democratic Party, Rene Pitbull Escalante, 1,357 votes. For the United Democratic Party, Henry Gomez, 1,326 votes. One independent candidate who was running for the mayoral post, Antonia Sanchez, 53 votes. So by majority, the People United Party is victorious. Thank you.
All right, there you have it. That was from the returning officer herself, confirming some of the things that we had already reported, that the new mayor-elect for Orange Walk will be Ladrick Shepherd. But with that, we are going to close off our broadcast for today. We are very thankful to all of you who tuned in from 6 a.m. this morning. Some of you logged on all day on our Facebook and our YouTube stream, and we appreciate it. And of course, another election in 3 years' time. We'll see you back here. All right, to everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Good night, and please stay safe.